Hi, I'm Claudia St. I'm the president of Affinity HR Group. We are your HR partner and resource. We continue to get questions from employers wondering whether it's appropriate for them to mandate that all employees get a coronavirus vaccine, either to remain in the workplace or to return to work. There are a lot of issues that come into play when making this decision, and we wanted to run a few of them by you. First of all, whether or not an employer may mandate has been fairly clearly articulated by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, which has said that it is within an employer's right to require a vaccination of the coronavirus as a condition of work, either to continue to work or to start work. That said, the EEOC also said that employers must provide reasonable accommodations to those who either cannot take the vaccine because of a health condition or due to sincerely held religious beliefs that are protected under employees' rights under the Civil Rights Act of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. So in order to accommodate those employees, there are a number of things that employers need to be willing and able to do. There are other things, if they are going to require or mandate a vaccine, it's likely that there is a lot of screening questions that employers will have to ask to determine whether employees are candidates for the vaccine in the first place. Those screening questions in themselves could be a violation of an employee's rights. So there are a number of issues related to this. If you're going to mandate a vaccine, you should first be sure to understand what you are required to do to provide reasonable accommodations under the ADA and under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. You also should probably consider having a third party do the screening and administration of the vaccine so that you are not in possession of or having to ask those very personal questions relating to people's medical conditions, etc. There are a number of other issues that need to come into play, such as if you mandate a vaccine, what are you going to do when you find out that somebody hasn't taken that vaccine? You have to be very careful that you don't discriminate against them, that you don't ask inappropriate questions as to why they did not take that vaccine. You need to keep all of those records confidential under an employee's rights under HIPAA and under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act and the ADA. So there are a lot of issues to consider here before running into a mandate. What we recommend is that before you go with the stick in terms of mandating, we encourage you to consider the carrot first. And by that we mean have a voluntary program that is celebrated and promoted within the workplace. For example, have a healthcare provider come in to explain the vaccine, explain what the repercussions are of the vaccine. You as the business owner and leader should be first in line in order to take the vaccine. Perhaps do some positive incentives and wellness campaigns around the rollout of the vaccine to celebrate the fact that we are hopefully nearing the end of what has been a very, very difficult time for all of us. Other things to consider: are you going to pay employees for the time it takes for them to go and get that vaccine, whether you're mandating it or it's voluntary? Are you going to consider allowing employees who take the vaccine time off to convalesce should they need it? And I can assure you that some folks may in fact have some slightly moderate side effects as a result of the vaccine from the cases that we know personally at Affinity HR Group. And how are you going to keep that record tracking? And what are you going to do in terms of accommodating those who are not able to participate in the vaccine? There's a lot to celebrate here. There's a lot to be excited about. But again, because of some of the risks and because of some of the privacy issues related, we do recommend that you pursue a voluntary approach and celebrate it from a positive perspective before you go to a mandatory approach for your workplace. That said, we're still facing a lot of shortages around the United States in terms of accessing vaccines. Some of our clients are in essential businesses, so they may be farther ahead in line than we and other industries are, which means that this may be a decision that folks need to consider sooner rather than later. And finally, whatever you decide to do, you're going to want to put it together in a policy so that you you can communicate it clearly to your employees and so that you can validate, if asked, how what you did was compliant with the appropriate and applicable laws. Of course, if you have any questions or want some ideas as you pursue your options, please call us at Affinity HR Group. We also are continuing with our COVID support hour in 2021. So as you continue to tackle your COVID issues, don't hesitate to call us. We have been dealing with this issue for the last 9 months straight, so we are what you might consider experts in dealing with the repercussions of managing this pandemic in the workplace. We hope you stay safe, and we hope that we find you doing well, open for business, ready to face a new year with lots and lots of pent-up success for all of those around. And of course, if you need anything in the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're always here to help. We hope that you and your employees and your families and your communities have a safe and productive work week. Take care.